Bore da, croeso I cyfarfod diolch I chi gyda am ddod. Good morning and welcome to today's Statutory Licensing Committee of Monday, 16th of October 2023. Agenda item number 1, apologies for absence. Everyone's here, so it's none. Agenda item number 2, declarations of interest. Members are reminded of their personal responsibility to declare any personal and prejudicial interest in respective matters contained in this agenda in accordance with the provisions of the Local Government and Finance Act 1992 relating to Council Tax, the Local Government Act 2000, the Council's Constitution and the Members' Code of Conduct. Are there any members who wish to make a declaration of interest for any of the agenda items? Okay, none indicating. Thank you very much. Before we go on to the next agenda item, I'm just going to do an introduction, if that's all right, just so everybody knows who everybody is. So if I start with myself, I'm Councillor Declan Salmon, the Chair of the Licensing Committee, and from the Dallas and Pound Ward.
Oh, I'm Clive Tuvey, the Councillor for Vane Award.
Hi, I'm Malcolm Colbrown. I'm a councillor from Bedlin Ogward.
Joe Baber, Licensing Manager.
Matthew Herbert, Licensing Officer. PC 5651, Steve Mosley, Licensing Officer of South Wales Police, Cyfri Merthyr.
I'm Heather Baker-Beck, the DBS for Treharris Phoenix Rugby Club.
I'm Helen James and I hold a licence for Treharris Rugby Club.
Okay, agenda item number 3 is the application for a temporary event notice, Treharris Rugby Football Club, Forest Road, Treharris, to consider the report of the Deputy Chief Executive. The author of this report is Matthew Herbert, who will now give a brief summary of the report.
Thank you, Chair. Heather Baker-Beck has submitted a temporary event notice under the Licensing Act 2003 in respect of Treharris RFC for an event on Friday, the 3rd of November 2023. The proposed timings are the sale of alcohol 5:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m, opening hours 5:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. The temporary event notice is intended to cover the clubhouse and external area, as well as the rugby field, which is not covered by the premises licence. The temporary event notice would provide an extension to the permitted licensed areas during the event. The event is described as firework and bonfire display with alcohol and food being consumed outside. A copy of the temporary event notice form is attached as Appendix A to this report. There is a premises licence in place for Treharris Rugby Club, covering the clubhouse and specified external area, which allows the following licensed activities and hours on a Friday. Sale of alcohol 11 a.m. till 12 a.m. on the premises only. Opening hours 10:30 a.m. till 12:30 a.m. However, the external area cannot be used after 6 p.m. between the 1st of October and the last day of February. A copy of the current premises licence and plan of the licensed area is attached as Appendix B to this report. In accordance with legislation, South Wales Police and the Council's Environmental Health Department were consulted in respect of the temporary event notice. An objection to the temporary event notice was received from South Wales Police. A copy of the objection is attached as Appendix C to this report. In determining the application, councillors must have regard for the 4 licensing objectives, of which the Licensing Act 2003 is based. These are the prevention of crime and disorder, ensuring public safety, prevention of public nuisance, and the protection of children from harm. Councillors must have consideration to the representations and take such steps it considers appropriate to the promotion of the licensing objectives. The steps are to grant the temporary event notice, to grant the temporary event notice subject to specified conditions from the current premises licence, to modify the temporary event notice by making changes to it with the agreement of the notice giver, or to reject the temporary event notice and issue a counter notice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthew. before we go to questions, I'm going to bring in PC Steve Mosley. If you just like to give us a little background as to your objection.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Chair, Committee and all persons present. I am here this morning representing South Wales Police as a designated licensing officer in regard to the temporary event notice that was applied for by Triaris Phoenix Rugby Football Club for the date of Friday the 3rd of November 2023. The purpose and objective of my role as a licensing officer is to ensure that all licensed premises are run responsibly on a day-to-day premise and that the license objectives are promoted. My view is that this is best achieved when working closely with responsible authorities and multi-agency partnership working relating to licenses and licensed premises. I believe that an essential part of my duties is ensuring a positive relationship between the police, licensing officers, and the designated premises supervisor of any licensed premises to ensure that measures are in place to prevent crime and disorder and the safeguarding of children. I want to stress that I continually strive to develop and promote positive working relationships with all the DPSs and will do my utmost to provide guidance to the DPS for them to uphold their premises licence conditions. The details of the temporary event notice are as follows. The 10 application has been made by this designated premises supervisor of Triaris Phoenix RFC Heather Baker Beck for a bonfire and fireworks display event that will be held at Triaris Rugby Club, Forest Road, Triaris, on the date of Friday the 3rd of November 2023. The times, etc., have already been covered by Matthew, so I won't go through them. It is noted on the application that the sale of alcohol by retail has been applied for along with a supply by or on behalf of a club to or on the order of a member of the club. It is stated with the application that alcohol will be able to be purchased from a can bar outside. Food will also be purchased and consumed outside of the clubhouse, which will be a safe distance away from the bonfire and firework display. A doorman will also be on duty to manage the maximum capacity number of 499. This number cannot be exceeded for any temporary event notice. I can assure you that I take no satisfaction from having to object to this temporary event notice. However, my reasons are as follows. There is currently an ongoing investigation into underage sale of alcohol at the premises. The summary of the report surrounding this is, now what I read is sort of the text of the report in person on the specific report to South Wales Police. A third-party report was received on the 15th of July 2023, where the informant was complaining that on Saturday night, her 17-year-old stepson was served a large volume of alcohol by his mother, Heather Beck, who was manager working at the club. The 17-year-old male was then involved in an RTC at the Penalta area at 2300 hours on Saturday. He was arrested for drunken charge where he blew 75. There will be CCTV in the club. Informant says Heather's son-in-law is on the club committee, so they won't do anything about the situation. Heather says Kian is regularly served alcohol there. That is the narrative of the call. As a result of the report, I, Merthyr, Licensing Officer of South Wales Police, have contacted the report in person to obtain details of the circumstances. Information was provided to me that the male has attended the licensed premises at 1800 hours on Saturday, 15th of July 2023, and has been served alcohol by either his mother or a member of bar staff. The male has left the premises at around 21:15 hours and walked home. Following this, the male has collected his car at his home address and drove it on his own accord. He then collected a 16-year-old male friend driven to the Hengood area. The male has driven the vehicle at speed, recklessly and dangerously, resulting in the car to overturn on a public highway near to Tesco, Ystrad Mynach. Thankfully, no injury was sustained. However, Gwent police officers have attended the scene and a roadside breath test was conducted, and a positive analysis of breath was obtained, of which was double the legal limit at roadside, and remained over the legal limit while at Newport Police Station. Gwent occurrence 23002 35949 refers. Now, as a result of this information, I had contacted Heather to arrange a joint site visit with Rhys Firmage, Merthyr Tydfil County Borough Council licensing officer, to view their CCTV. I attended Trearis RFC Clubhouse on the 1st of August, accompanied by Rhys and South Wales Police Licensing Sergeant Andrew Jones. However, I contacted Heather an hour prior to my attendance and was informed that there was a water leak directly above the CCTV system, which has caused the system to malfunction. As you can imagine, in my 9 years of experience as a police officer, I find it a real concern that at the point of myself requesting the CCTV, it has coincidentally had a freak water damage. I cannot at present confirm the legitimacy of this. The item is currently suspect to a forensic examination by South Wales Police at some costs. I asked the committee to draw their own inferences from the water damage scenario. I've discussed the purpose of my attendance with Heather and my concerns of the nature of the report and also the potential fatality of her son and another child in the road traffic collision. I've also raised the fact of the high alcohol reading within the portion of breath provided within a short period of time after leaving the rugby club, which has given some strength to the case that case of alcohol consumption inside the premises. However, I want to clarify that without the CCTV footage, this cannot be proved at this time. Now, I want to emphasise that the consequences and actions of the male, who I will state in the eyes of the law as a child, is purely their decision and mindset to enter the vehicle and drive the vehicle. However, in my professional opinion, the short time frame from when the male left the premises and to when the road traffic collision occurred leads myself draw in rationale that the male left the rugby club intoxicated. In addition to this, I want to mention a further incident of note where the police were called to Trearis Rugby Club for a disturbance on the 25th of August 2023. Police Control Works incident of the 25th of August 2023, 1347 refers. The summary of the call made by staff was, there was a big disturbance in the club, staff have moved the persons outside and they are no longer fighting, but there was a lot of shouting. Police have attended and there was no disturbance ongoing and persons involved had left the area. Now, as a result of this call on the 25th of August, I've attended the premises accompanied by Merthyr Tydfil Borough Council Licensing Officer Rhys Firmage to discuss the incident and to view the CCTV. Information I received was that there was a planned auction charity event for a child from the village, and during the evening, members of the public had attended the premises following a funeral. I could see a number of persons inside and one SIA door staff on duty. The footage revealed an unprovoked assault on a male by another male, who has been confirmed as a committee member. This led to a heated disturbance with a number of persons getting involved with the aim of de-escalating the situation. There was a further assault on a female by another female who has been identified as the partner of the aforementioned committee member. There was no complaints forthcoming from either party. However, should there have been a complaint of being assaulted, then, in my professional opinion, there was enough evidence from the CCTV for a potential criminal charge of common assault for the committee member and his partner. From viewing the footage, it was clear that one SIA door staff was insufficient to have control of the situation. During this disturbance, there was also children present when the disturbance was taking place. As a result of the above, I feel it necessary and proportionate to object to the temporary event notice due to the lack of confidence in the licensing objective of prevention of crime and disorder and the prevention of harm to children being upheld. I do not take this lightly, as I appreciate that the 10 applied for is a family event. I conclude my speech and will be open for questions.
Thank you, PC Mosley. I'm going to open it for questions from the committee as well.
You go first.
Oh, you're right.
I was just wondering, with this accident, has the boy been to court yet? Or is it the one that crashed the car that was over the limit? Has he been to court yet?
Yeah, he's been to court. I believe he's sustained penalty points in his license and other sort of remedial action.
Was he found guilty? No. Oh, right.
Lovely, thank you, Clive. I've got a couple of questions. PC Mosley, we've already heard your concerns regarding the number of SA doormen at the funeral event. At 6 and 7 of Annex 3, it says all licensed doormen employed or used by the club must be SIA registered, and that licensed doormen must be in attendance at the club when the area defined in 1 above is in use. The temporary event notice application states that the maximum number of people who will be allowed on the premises at any one time will be 499, and there will be a doorman in place. Is there a minimum number of door staff imposed as a result of the conditions at Annex 3, and is only 1 member of door staff sufficient for an event up to 499?
For any event, for a temporary event notice, 499 is the maximum persons allowed. South Wales Police would look at doing a ratio of normally 1 to 80 persons, depending on the capacity of the event. So for an estimate of 499, so we would expect of perhaps 4 to 5 door staff.
Thank you, PC Mosley. I think Councillor Malcolm Corbyn wants to follow up on that.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yeah, you say 1 to 80, but presumably if it's a family event and there's going to be a lot of children there, it wouldn't require so many door staff. Well, it may well require more than 1, but it wouldn't necessarily require that number, given that a number of people are going to be children.
With the sale of alcohol, yeah, granted this, this a family event. However, with a 499, we have to cater for sort of safeguarding, and especially when alcohol is going to be consumed. But I take on board that it is a family event, but we have to look at sort of our requirement for safeguarding and prevention of crime and disorder.
Thank you very much. And externally, can I just ask one question? In regards to Annex 3, which is conditions attached after a hearing by the licensing authority, was this an extra licensing committee meeting because was there issues or something previously?
Chair, give me 2 seconds, but from memory, they were added by committee, and I think it was following a. Sorry, give me 1 second. I don't want to say. Yeah, it was following an application to add the outdoor area to the on the plans. So historically, the external area wasn't licensed. So when the club applied to add that external area onto the plans, there were local resident objections, as well as some responsible authorities. So that was the conditions then were placed on to control the outdoor area in particular.
Just for clarification, for this temporary event notice, is the planned area for the sale of alcohol within this external area? It doesn't go outside that?
It's just the entirety of the actual rugby pitch, which is attached to the club, if that makes sense. And then we've got a what is our beer garden. This is the area.
So John, if I was to look at the map of the area, and I think it's cross-hatched external area to be licensed. Does that include the pitch as well, or is that just the
So in Appendix B, yeah. So the rugby field isn't covered by the premises license. It is just the clubhouse, and there's a sort of patioed area to the front and the side. But for the temporary event notice, they are asking for the rugby field as well.
For alcohol to be sold
Mhm.
on the, right, okay. Yeah, of course you can.
We don't intend to sell the alcohol on the field. The can bars will be in the paved area, the patio area, but we are concerned because people will be consuming the cans on the pitch side, so that's why we wanted that, because I think that's been misconstrued a little bit.
So people,
We're not selling it around the pitch.
so people will be on the pitch and they'll be drinking alcohol on the
Yes,
pitch from the
yeah,
cans.
that's, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I've got another couple of questions. And then we have a follow-up from yourselves.
Yeah.
Is that my last question is, at 5B of Annex C, it says, between the 1st of October and the last day of February, the area as defined in 1 above shall not be used for the consumption of alcohol after 6 p.m. each night of the week. Why has this condition been added?
Sorry, Chair, which condition? Sorry.
Okay, it's 5B of Annex 3, and it is in regards to
Again, that was added by committee when the variation application was submitted because of residents' concerns about noise and issues with the external area being used. Restrictions were placed on the timings for the external area.
And just before I bring Malcolm in, have there been any issues with noise in regards to this area?
Yeah, we have had
Right.
complaints recently, yeah.
Okay, Councillor Malcolm Colbert, that was my question. Sorry, Malcolm. Okay. Councillor Clive Tevy?
Yes. If the application was turned down, you know, there'd be hundreds of sweet little children wanted to see the fireworks. If it was turned down, could it all go ahead without the sale of alcohol on the patio?
So the actual event, the fireworks event itself, is currently going through the ESAG process, so the Event Safety Advisory Group process for estates to give approval on whether, because obviously the rugby field is council land, so ESAG will decide basically whether or not, I think there's a meeting tomorrow to consider the event and the safety and of that event, but it would be for the club to decide whether it's still viable for it to go ahead without alcohol sales.
One further question. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, one further question. Did you have a fireworks event? Have you had a fireworks event previously? You had one last year?
Yeah.
Was there any trouble last year? Oh, right, thanks.
Was there alcohol sold at that event outside as well?
Yeah. I do need to stress it was under different management then. It was we have recently taken over the club since the end of February this year. So, but it's gone on for how many years there?
At least 3. The last 3 years.
Okay. I just want to go back to Eastleigh Mosley's letter of objection, and it mentions in regards to a committee member and his partner had assaulted two separate people during a charity event. Is this person still a committee member? No. Okay. Right. Did you want to come in with any questions for the licensing department or the police, or if you'd like to add anything?
Can I just have a general waffle and
Yeah.
a few things? Right, first of all, going back to my son that was involved in the accident. He'd been away all afternoon in the Rhondda Valley playing rugby league. He didn't return to the club, I believe, till about 6:15, 6:30-ish, thereabouts. He was only at the club for a maximum, I'd say, hour and a half, was it? And he was given a lift home. He was taken home. He had a lift up to the house. He called me just to ask what time I was expecting to go home, which is standard. You know, that often happens. I told him we were fairly quiet. I wouldn't be very late. The next thing I had the phone call to say about this accident that had happened. So I find it totally unfair. I've spoken, Mr. Mosley and I have spoken numerous times on this. I totally appreciate how it looks with the damage happening to the camera system. But if there was anything untoward, it wouldn't have happened an hour before South Wales Police. We were given plenty of notice. They were attending to view these cameras. Wouldn't have done it. I'm not very tech savvy, as Mr. Moore, he'll tell you. I'm hopeless with technology, being brutally honest. But we are trying to comply. The restrictions on this licence are absolutely crushing. We're trying to build this business up. We went in there in February with absolutely nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. We didn't have a glass or a drip tray because the previous people had just destroyed the club. We built that club up from nothing. We've turned it into such a lovely place. We've got children coming in now. Yes, we've had the 2 blips. Yes, we have. There's not a licensed premises out there that this isn't happening in, you know, but for the volume of people and the traffic we're having through that club, we do. I've got 3 letters of support here from residents, in the closest ones in proximity to the club. I would like to present them to the chair for you to have a read. Just showing, because they can see how hard we are trying there. It's just trying to manufacture, to put everything into place, the conditions on the licence, you know, and we're the only premises that have got these infringements. Do you know what I mean? It's having to have SA door staff every time the outdoor area is being used. Have to be in by 9 PM. That's fine. But then it's gone out to 6 PM. We're trying to build a business. I'm all for the 4 objectives of licensing, and I support it fully. But it just seems to be, rather than working with us, we now feel that we're working against licensing all the time, because it's something, it's just not viable. And no other business, you know, there's problems on Treharris Square every weekend, yet no other premises is getting the thrashing that we are. And I just feel, we feel as a club, as a committee, as staff, we're feeling totally victimised, to be honest. I go to neighbouring rugby clubs that don't even have to follow the thing of taking plastics outside. I just like to say I fully support that, though. But that's not applicable to anyone else, bar us. You know, there's got to be a doorman present. The trade we are losing in that club is phenomenal. We had a local derby last Thursday. Bidlinog came over to play. We've had new floodlights put in, we've improved the club 1,000,000%. They all left straight after the game because they weren't allowed to stay outside and enjoy a beer outside in a plastic glass. And I just feel I'm fighting an uphill battle, to the point of, and Mr. Mosley knows this, because I said, I don't think I can go on with this much longer as a licensee, because after holding my license all these years, this is the first time I've ever felt that my license is being threatened. And I just, that is what it, you know, it is what it is. As far as the assault that happened, again, South Wales Police came down with licensing, viewed the camera footage, clearly saw the assault happened, and quite rightly, as Mr. Mosley said, it was unprovoked. We were told it was managed well. I was in the middle of it, trying to sort the trouble out, as we got a lot of big lads there with the rugby team, obviously. They helped to get rid of the people out of the club. They went, there was no issue. But we were told by South Wales Police, any problem, because we've had so many malicious complaints. We'd only been open an hour and a half and licensing, and Mr. Mosley turns up at the club, right? The first day we were trading. And they said, nice to meet you. I said, it'll be the first meeting of many, because we knew we were going to have a lot of malicious complaints because there was such bad feeling from the previous management. And that's exactly what's happened. Because yes, I agree with what Mr. Mosley has said. They were unable to view the cameras at that time. But there has been countless times that they have come down and they have viewed the CCTV to investigate complaints that have been totally unfounded, from not having a doorman present to people being outside, to an underage sale going back sometime in the beginning, to having the door not being closed before 9 o'clock. It goes on and on and on. And it's a family hub of the village. People are flocking there. We're doing so much for charity. We're raising money for many, many good causes. but it's soul destroying. It is soul destroying. And as you heard by the statement, it was my ex-husband's partner that's made this allegation about my son being served. My son works in the club. Yes, he's had drinks, but they've all been zero alcohol. He's never consumed an alcoholic drink on that premises, ever. We've got zero alcohol products there for a reason. We've got men that play pool there that are driving, so they need that. So we've made that an offer since day one. So that is a personal vendetta. But like I said, we can't do any more. We just feel, you know, now we're going looking down the road, we're going to get MPs involved. We have to do something because the club cannot sustain. We've spent £5,000. We had our annual general meeting yesterday. We've spent £5,000 in door security since March, end of March, I think. And it's no other premises is having this in our village. No other premises. And like I said, we just feel as a club and a committee it's unfair. So there we have it.
Okay, thank you very much. Can I ask a question? Are the restrictions put on this club different to other clubs, or are they the same? Because it's
So every premises license is different, Chair. Each and every single premises license, you won't find one the same. As of obviously from the questions you've asked, some of these conditions were put on by licensing committee when the outdoor area was added because of local resident concerns, as well as concerns from Environmental Health and South Wales Police. The premises license holders are the Trearis Phoenix RFC Limited. They, through discussions with Steve and with Reese, my licensing officer, who's been dealing with the club regarding the complaints we've had over the last six to 9 months. They've explained the process of if they wanted to change the license conditions, how they can go about that. Obviously, that's not what today's hearing is about, but the club have been provided with suitable advice on how those conditions can be changed, or applications can be made to change those. Obviously, if local residents and any responsible authorities wanted to object to those conditions being changed, then it would end up back before committee. But yeah, each license is different, but obviously that isn't the purpose of today's hearing. It is to consider whether the temporary event notice should be granted or not.
Joanne, can I ask a question as well, maybe for the police as well, and Matthew? The licensee has said that many complaints have come in, but when you've gone through the CCTV, there has been no issue. So I'm asking, is that true for one? Have you gone back to the complainant, or have these complaints been made without giving a name, or if you've got any more information?
Yeah, so some we have received a number of complaints over the last 6 to 9 months. On occasion, CCTV have proved they were unfounded. On a number of occasions, CCTV hasn't been able to be provided to, as with the sort of the incident PC Mosey as mentioned, but also other incidents as well. There has been a number of occasions where CCTV hasn't been able to be provided to the police or licensing officers to prove whether or not that complaint was factual or not.
In regards to that, the CCTV couldn't be provided. Is there a reason for that? What was the reason given? Was it outside the range of the CCTV, or if it was noise, do the cameras pick up sound?
Yeah, if I can recall one occasion where there was an allegation of I think rugby players going on tour, etc., had attended the rugby club sort of around 6 o'clock in the morning. When we get a report then from members of the public, it's our duty to investigate these allegations. When we've attended the licensed premise and spoke to Heather about it, there was sort of a malfunction within the CCTV that hasn't captured perhaps a day and a half of the CCTV, which Heather knows about. So unfortunately, it was on that occasion. There may be a couple of others where which escapes my mind at this present time, but as I said, allegations. We can't just not do anything. We have to look on the local community and support residents, etc., to see if there's any disturbance of noise issues or if there's anything that they've witnessed. So we're gonna have to go there. I like to think that I've got a good relationship with Heather, where I've offered guidance, and I can see the good work that Heather is doing. Wherever there are things that could be improved to strengthen the licensing objectives, namely the CCTV, and the whole purpose of today's meeting is for the objection of the 10 for my concern of the underage sale, and also a recent disturbance involving a committee member.
Thank you, PC Mosley. Councillor Malcolm Corbyn.
Yeah, thank you. Regarding the CCTV, is the outside area covered by the 10 visible on CCTV, or is CCTV just internal?
We've recently had, when we had the problem with the water on the camera system, we had a brand new system installed by a firm, High Cross Security. They've installed it. Reese Furnish came down to the club when we had the system installed and did a full 360 walk around, so there was no blind spots, because that was an issue. There seemed to be a couple of blind spots. We've gone from having 7 cameras, we've now got 13. So the entirety of the external area of the club, with exception to the actual rugby pitch, is covered.
Right, so the area where the bar will be,
Yes,
will be covered.
Yes.
But not the whole pitch.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
If it went ahead, what hours would the fireworks be on? Is it starting at 7 or?
About 5:30, isn't it?
What they put on the poster, I think it's like the gates will open at 5:30. I'm sure the fireworks start 7:30, something like that. Yeah,
It goes on for an hour or two then.
yeah, I think it went on for about 30 minutes after the actual display, wasn't it?
display,
The actual
yeah.
display, yeah.
Oh, it's only for
Yeah.
so it would all be over by 8 o'clock, would
So
it?
it's not, it's just people, we wanted to cover ourselves because people will hang around after and socialise like they always do.
Oh, okay, thanks.
I've got one more question, and it's for PC Mosley. Is the assault that happened by the committee member during a charity event, is that a different occasion to the 10 where there was an altercation at a 10 that was a football presentation?
Yeah, that's a different occasion. This incident involving the committee member, I think it was August the 25th, the evening of it. I didn't look back any further than the initial allegation of underage, because there's been previous 10s that had happened applied for. So I wanted to look at sort of incidents or areas of concern following that particular date.
Can I just ask, when was the altercation at the football presentation?
Stay with me. I think that was the 13th of July. 13th.
15.
The 15th.
15.
Okay. Okay. I know I don't have any other questions. None from the committee. Simon?
No, just that I'm clear, if we were to grant it, how many SIA staff are you intending to put on?
First police, so I hope Mr. Mosley will back me up here and say that we are fully compliant. We're moving onwards and upwards. It's been a learning curve for us all. So if they dictate that we have to have 3 or 4, then that's what it's got to be. We've got a lot of the entire rugby team will be stewarding as well, but obviously they're not doormen. They're just to make sure that to ensure safety. That's the paramount thing. So we've got a lot of support, a lot of volunteers stepping on board with this. But actually, as doormen, we always take the advice of, as is given if they stipulate we need 2 or we need 3, whatever the figure is, then we'll work with that.
Okay.
Sorry, Chair, one more question. So you're saying that, what time did you say the fireworks would finish? About 8 o'clock-ish, is it?
The actual display, I'm expecting to finish around the 8 o'clock mark. They go on for approximately 30 minutes.
But you want the
Thereabouts.
additional time because people will hang around.
Yeah,
after
because there's
that.
families there, and
I suppose they could go inside after that.
but they can. Oh, the club is open. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's all, Chair.
Okay. I've got no more questions. I think we're going to deliberate. So Simon, will this, will the applicant be coming back to get the?
Well, you can either, we will come to a decision now, okay? There'll have to be reasons, if we were to issue a counter notice, I've got to make sure the reasons are appropriate. But that won't be done immediately, but we can give a decision today though, yes or no, all right? So I don't know whether you want to hang around or whether or not you can be contacted if you, it's freezing you, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Okay, 3 letters of representation have been given by the licensee, the applicant, backing up their application for a TENS event. Thank you. Yeah, we've read them, and obviously there are people that feel strongly about the club and really like the club. I think we're going to break up now, come to a decision, and you will be let know. Okay.
I'm just looking at the options available to the committee. And one of them, of course, is to modify the temporary event notice by making changes to it with the agreement of the notice provider. So if we were looking at that kind of thing, we need to speak to you. So I think you do need to hang around. Okay, so otherwise, if you did to disappear, we'd have to, I mean, we can't change the 10 without your agreement. Okay, so if you could hang around, thanks.
Okay, we'll break up. If somebody would like to show the applicants into the members room, thank you.